Today I'm really pleased to be joined by Jess Stafford. Jess is a dancer, a teacher, choreographer and a yogi based in Westchester, New York State. Welcome, Jess. Really good to see you.
Hi.
Tell us first then about your involvement with DanceTeacherWeb.
I've been there since the very beginning, our very first conference. I started writing blogs for the website and doing some of the videos and the how-tos. So I've been with Angie and Steve for a really long time and have kind of seen DanceTeacherWeb develop from day one, especially the conferences from way back until now.
You're very busy during the conference, but before we get into that, I'm a big fan of musical theatre. I know you've had a lot of involvement in musical theatre as a performer, as a choreographer. What is your take on musical theatre as it stands today here in 2024?
I think the dancers today have a lot of tricks up their sleeves, not just like dancers, but just overall production value and what they're capable of doing. I think it just changes the game and makes musical theater, just a whole new ball game and a whole new experience for people. It's almost visceral in a different way.
So your first workshop at the convention will be around musical theatre. Tell us a little bit about that.
So this year, my musical theater class is focusing on the feminine side of choreography, what it's like to be a female feature and also a female ensemble dancer, which I was. So we're going to be focusing on repertoire from shows that really highlight that feminine dancer. And then not just technique, but then because musical theater for me, and this is what I always like to try to convey to my students, is that musical theater is about being a triple threat, but performance is part of that technique as well. And stylization is understanding stylistically and aesthetically how to change styles, when you're doing a specific show. So that's always a big part of my classes, is I want dancers to understand the whys and the hows.
And then you have quite a shift then in tone the following day. Your session on the Saturday, I think, is called Be Well, Mental Health and Wellness for Dance Students. So what's that one all about?
I am also a board certified integrative health and health coach and mental health coach. And this has kind of become a passion project of mine and sort of where I feel it's just led me naturally in both my dance teaching and then in the coaching field as well. Traditional talk therapy sometimes doesn't work for everybody. It's wonderful, but sometimes we need to move our bodies too, and everything is energy. And so we talk about mental health, but sometimes that trauma or that stress is trapped in the body and that energy has to move. It's got to go somewhere. So this class is sort of geared towards helping dance teachers bring that into their own dance studios to work with kids.
And then we move to Sunday. And I think you're doing 2 workshops on Sunday. The first one is around choreography. So let me start with a question. Does a good dance teacher automatically make a good choreographer?
No.
Right.
And vice versa. I think you could be a wonderful teacher and a not so great choreographer. And I think you can be an amazing choreographer and a not so great teacher. So I always like to try to keep the class open to that, so that teachers can find their own creative voice, because sometimes we get so tunnel visioned in terms of like teaching technique or teaching this or teaching that, and then vice versa, we can also get tunnel vision on, I have to get the piece done, I need this choreography done. So it's really, how do we intertwine those things and take those two kind of subsets of teaching and choreography, and how do we combine them, and how do you find your own voice?
Teachers are artists, and teachers are also often business people, aren't they? And I know your final session is around the more business side of running a dance school, a dance studio. It's around blogging, right? What can people expect from that session?
I write the blog articles for DanceTeacherWeb, and I'm the editor in chief for the Dance Teacher Web blog. Every now and then I go back and I kind of see which ones have on, either Facebook or social media, which have gotten a lot of response or a lot of dialogue amongst the community. And so we compile those hot topics of the blogs that got a lot of interest, and we bring that into the panel discussion. And studio owners and teachers can ask us either questions from the blogs, we give them ideas, we talk about blog titles that may, fire up some conversation, or we open the floor to things that they want to talk about. It's this really great dialogue, and the community really join together, and they see that they're experiencing a lot of the same things. So there's a nice camaraderie with the class as well. Sometimes it gets a little feisty. We talked about, some things that are difficult in a studio business, things that come up that are challenging, but it's a great forum and a great panel discussion.
So a busy few days for you, and busy few days for everyone. So finally then, what's your favorite thing to do in Vegas? Where's your favorite spot to visit? Mine is always to go and watch the Bellagio fountains, which I know is a cliche, but I love it. What's your equivalent of that?
I was going to say that as well. That is one of my favorite spots, only because it very much reminds me of how I feel when I go to the fountains at Lincoln Center, because it's such a place in the city where I can kind of zone out and just be quiet in a very busy place.
For me, though, those fountains, there's such a sort of parallel with choreography dance, isn't there?
Oh,
it is like watching a dance performance with
it absolutely is.
Obviously music, obviously showmanship and aesthetics and movement.
Yeah, and I think it's a timing thing, and for me, it's like a rhythm thing. It brings my heart rate down in a weird way. I don't know, just watching it kind of brings me very much into the present, and I just feel like a very natural rhythm and it's like a dance. It absolutely is like a dance watching those fountains.
Well, I look forward to watching the dance and learning more about dance with you in Vegas in August. Jess, thanks very much for
Thanks so much. It was great speaking with you.